OpenAI is about to pour more than $30 billion into a single stretch of Georgia countryside, a campus that would draw as much power as a major city. And from Virginia horse country to Texas ranchland, Americans are deciding whether they'll let projects like this into their backyards. We begin near Savannah, Georgia, where OpenAI has unveiled Project Camellia, a $30 billion, 3.2 gigawatt data center campus across 1,400 acres of Effingham County. It's the first data center OpenAI will design and build itself, powered through a 25-year agreement with Georgia Power, with delivery phased in between 2028 and 2032. The company clearly knows a backlash is brewing. It's promising $80 million in community benefits, up to $71 million in software credits for Georgia students, up to 1,000 megawatts of flexible demand response to protect the grid, and closed-loop cooling to keep water use down. OpenAI even pledged an independent annual audit of those commitments, a sign of just how carefully big tech is now courting the communities it builds in. But not every community is being won over. In Goochland County, Virginia, residents packed a meeting at Goochland High School to confront Denver-based developer TRACT over its proposed Tuckahoe Creek Technology Park, an 871-acre campus that could draw up to 900 megawatts of power. Supporters point to billions in potential economic activity and tax revenue for the county. But neighbors pressed the company on water consumption, noise, and the heat these facilities throw off. One retiree, Cynthia Hass, said she and her husband moved to Goochland for a quiet retirement, and that a data center campus next door would completely ruin the peace they came for. The proposal still has a long road ahead. The Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors must both sign off, with key hearings expected this fall. That opposition is now making its way into courtrooms in Central Texas. A citizens group called the Data Center Action Coalition, joined by Guadalupe County residents Kara Finlayson, Barry Lindsay, and Tori Martin, has sued their own county commissioner's court. The suit seeks to halt two massive projects, Cloudburst and Palomino Alpha, that together would convert more than 1,700 acres of rural land into over 4 million square feet of data centers. The plaintiffs allege the deals were negotiated privately, with insufficient public notice and conflicts of interest, and could hand the developers an estimated $150 million in property tax abatements. They're asking a judge to invalidate the county's approvals entirely, and to freeze the agreements while the case plays out in court. And Texas isn't the only place where neighbors are squaring off against giants. In Louisa County, Virginia, homeowner Austin Newsom is taking on Amazon in federal court, and he just cleared a major hurdle. U.S. District Judge Jasmine Yoon refused to throw out Newsom's private nuisance claim over the data center rising directly across the road from his home. Newsom says the sheer scale of ground disturbance has upended the local water table and fouled his tap water, and that customers have stopped bringing boats to his business, Central VA Marine, until construction ends. The judge did dismiss one claim seeking injunctive relief as a standalone cause of action. And Amazon's ultimate liability is far from decided. But Newsom's request for a preliminary injunction is still on the table. And his case is now headed deeper into federal court. Cases like these are exactly why Washington is moving. President Trump expanded his ratepayer protection pledge, pulling utilities and state governments into a commitment that big tech, not families, pays for the grid build-out data centers demand. The White House says the pledge now covers roughly 80% of the power delivered to American homes and businesses, with more than 220 signatories, 27 data center developers, 55 utility companies, 105 electric cooperatives, and 23 governors. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle, xAI, OpenAI, and Amazon had already signed on, formally committing to fund or build the energy infrastructure their facilities require. The announcement came at the Environmental Protection Agency, flanked by Energy Secretary Chris Wright and the governors of Louisiana, Georgia, Nebraska, and Idaho. The pressure on the grid is only half the story. Water tells the other half. California lawmakers have passed a bill that would make the state's data centers report their water consumption. Under the measure from Assembly Member Diane Papon, operators would have to disclose projected water use before getting a business license, under penalty of perjury, and certify their actual usage every year at renewal. The bill even creates a first-of-its-kind indirect water use metric, counting the water consumed to generate the electricity these facilities burn. But its fate is anything but certain. Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a similar measure last year, and the tech industry is lobbying hard against this one. All eyes are now on the governor's desk in Sacramento, where a signature, or another veto, will set the template for every other state watching. State capitals aren't the only ones acting. City halls are too. In Sheboygan, Wisconsin, the Common Council voted unanimously to freeze zoning and building permits for any data center larger than 10,000 square feet. The reason is simple. The city has no zoning code for data centers at all, and officials want time to write one before the industry comes knocking. The moratorium runs 12 months, with an option to extend another 6. The vote wasn't without friction. Alders spent a lengthy debate probing whether developers could exploit loopholes and work around the city's framework before the new rules land. Sheboygan now joins a fast-growing list of American communities, from Colorado to Maryland to Florida, that have hit pause on hyperscale development until the rules catch up with the boom. Yet despite all that resistance, money keeps flooding in, and the numbers are staggering. A consortium of the AI Infrastructure Partnership, Abu Dhabi's MGX, and BlackRock's Global Infrastructure Partners has closed its $40 billion acquisition of Plano, Texas-based Aligned Data Centers, one of the largest data center deals ever completed. The group bought 100% of Aligned from funds managed by Macquarie Asset Management, then immediately committed another $5 billion to fuel expansion. Aligned operates 51 campuses with more than 6.4 gigawatts of operational and planned capacity. And this is just the opening move. It's the first investment for AIP, which plans to deploy $30 billion in equity, a figure that could reach $100 billion once debt is included. The capital behind this build-out shows no sign of slowing. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.